Welcome back. I know I've said it before, happiness is a trap. And then I've had conversations with yogis after I did a couple videos like that, and they're still using the word happiness occasionally. And I thought, well, maybe I ought to talk about this a bit more, and we can get a deeper understanding why happiness is a trap. And it's a little bit difficult because if you're used to pointing yourself at happiness, and then we say, no, we're going to take that away, okay, what am I going to rest on? Rest on peace. Try that first. So let's get into it. So first, a funny story. I was in the ashram and I was really trying really hard. And I thought, well, I'm just gonna, I want this joy. I want this joy and I want it all the time. I don't want to be miserable. I'm tired of being miserable. I'm tired of being depressed, yada yada. And so I heard them say, fake it until you make it. I'm like, okay, let's fake it until I make it. And I started faking joy. And it was very forced, it was very contrived, it was not natural. It was not just coming out of me naturally, it was very, very forced. And I remember Brother Ananamoy saw right through that, of course, and he kept going in his Swedish accent, "He is too happy, something is wrong." And he kept saying that to me or around me. And this went on for so long that I started turning it into a joke with him. And so we got some real joy from it. So every time he saw me, he would shake his head and he would wave me away, like, go away with your wrong mental understanding, right? and so eventually I would see him coming, and so I'd purposely put on this huge smile, like this huge fake smile, and then I'd let him see me, and then I'd pretend that, oh my God, I'm so shocked that you have seen me, and then I would drop the smile and pretend that I was very, serious and Calvinistic and depressed. And, I'm towing the line here. I'm doing what you said, right? And I think it took about 4 or 5 times doing this over and over again, he finally got that this was a total joke, and he started laughing. And so every time we saw each other, we'd just start laughing. And that was my reconciliation with Brother Ananamoy. Funny story. And I told this to an old friend. He goes, "Oh my God." I'm like, "What?" "You got the joke over on Brother Ananamoy." I'm like, "Yeah, I guess I did." But he was right. I was forcing. It was contrived. It was not real. And because of him and because of my own intuition, I finally got the download. I got the learning. You can't start with joy. You have to start with peace. And so I let go of my desire for that joy, and I just pointed myself at peace. Peace, peace, peace. I'm just going to be at peace. By the way, how do you find peace? HRV resonance, make the out-breath long, go into the low idle state. That calmness of the body reflects back on the mind, and boom, you've got peace. You do the Om Japa in the chakras, you clean yourself out. And out of this cleanliness comes an authentic, real, naturally arising peace. And there's that core principle of yoga, that we are not forcing ourselves in an outwardly disciplined way, but rather growing something to blossom from inside. And it's happening because of the yogic processes that we are doing, the low idle state and the cleaning out of our psychology through the Om Japa in the chakras, the Navi Kriya, the Mahamudra. All of this is conditioning us and allowing our true nature to slowly arise. And out of enough peace and out of enough cleanliness of the chakras, you will naturally rise up into the heart, and so you will find loving kindness. This is the first of the 4 Brahmaviharas, right? And these are in Buddhism, right? So you can look up Brahmaviharas, and you'll find the 4 of them. And you say, oh, these are Buddhist. Well, actually, these go back to Patanjali. And that's where the Buddhists got these, from Patanjali. This is in the Yoga Sutras. The 4 Brahmaviharas arise from yoga, from Patanjali. Beautiful connection, right? Yoga and Buddhism both agree. 4 Brahmaviharas. You're going to come into your heart, and then out of that loving kindness, a automatic, expansive compassion will arise. So you go into the heart, and you go a little higher, boom, compassion. It's just there. You didn't have to force it. You didn't have to create it. It just naturally arises. And then out of that compassion, and out of this cleanliness, out of this deep connection to the heart, suddenly joy automatically arises. A joy of freedom. The freedom that you are finding inside of yourself. Out of this yogic journey, this beautiful, self-supported hero's journey. This is the true hero's journey. All of the myth of the hero, all of those stories, they are really talking about this yogic journey. This is the true hero's journey. And you are doing it. And you're finding the heart. And then you're finding compassion. And then you're finding joy. And then out of all of that, the love and the compassion and the joy blossoms equanimity. And what is that? Well, it's all of those wrapped into one. It's love and compassion and joy and peace and bliss. And it's just, it's so fine and it's so much that you just enter into equanimity. And that's the real journey. All of those are completely transcendent, and they are inside. They are not dependent on anything outside of you. And that's the problem with happiness. That when you find happiness, oh, you can say, look, I got happiness. That's great. Isn't that nice? So nice to have happiness today. But understand that happiness is conditional. And so when the condition is taken away, well, the rug is pulled out. And the happiness that you might have been relying on psychologically is now gone. And now you flip into what? Darkness, depression, something. But not happiness. Because it's not transcendent. But when you go inside and you use the low idle state and you use the cleanliness of the chakras, the Om Japa, to rise up into the heart, into the 4 Brahmaviharas, now you are transcendent. There's no rug to pull. They can pull rugs all day. And maybe you see that and it's like, oh man, it's not good, right? They pulled the rug. But you're still transcendent. You still have love. You still have compassion. You still have joy. You still have equanimity. And maybe that fluctuates. That's okay. That's normal, right? It's all about learning. But at least you're not relying on the happiness. That's the problem. That's the trap, is to say, I am after happiness, find happiness, rely on the happiness. Life pulls the rug, as life does. That's life's job, to go up and down. It's not a stationary thing. It's not a solid thing. It is designed to be a wave. Or maybe it's a particle. But anyway, it's not solid. And you cannot rely on it. So putting your happiness on top of the world, well, the world is going to fluctuate. And that happiness is going to dissolve. So I told Ashok, I'm doing all this Kriya. It's amazing. I love it. And I'm just finding this happiness. And he stopped me. And he yelled at me. It's not happiness. It's not happiness. It is bliss that is coming up in you. It is not happiness. I'm like, oh, I'm sorry. I didn't know what to say. I didn't know what to call it. I was just feeling these things. I'm just trying to express it. He's like, okay, but don't call it happiness. It is not happiness. Don't call it happiness. It is bliss. And that was my education with my guru. And he was totally right. He said, happiness is dualistic. If you have the happy, then you automatically have the sad. If you have the up, then you automatically have the down. If you're conditioning yourself to be supported by happiness, the rug will be pulled and you will be turned upside down. That's just the mathematics of relying on happiness. But if you get into the heart, and if you get into compassion, and you get up into joy, and you get up into equanimity, oh my God, it's transcendent. You know what it's like? It's like a fantastic, funny movie. The movie can be in the worst situation. The movie can be in the absolute bottom of the pit. And yet they're laughing. And you're laughing with them. That laughter is transcendent of what is happening in the situation. That's magic. That is magic. How many people are pinned to the earth, pinned to their circumstances, pinned to what is going on the outside, pinned to it, chained to it? How many? And you have a chance. You have a chance for this transcendence inside of yourself. And when you find that joy, and you keep finding it, and maybe you lose it, fine, we're still learning, that's okay, there's ups, there's downs. You lose it, you come back, you lose it, you come back. Where did I put that? Where did I put that transcendence? Actually, I know it's here. I did find it once before, and you find it again. That's it. That's it. That's the whole thing. Somebody noticed the Om Japa seems to be, with some of these core issues I'm working on, the Om Japa will relieve it. But then I come back and there's still more. Why is that? Well, it's the learning. The Om Japa frees you to get the learning. And very, very slowly we get the learning. And it's the learning which sets you free. The learning is transcendent. The learning draws you into the upper nervous system. And we grow up in our understanding. And that's what sets you free. What the child cannot comprehend, the adult understands. And the adult can deal with it. Magical. Beautiful. Amazing. This is the true hero's journey. This internal journey. And that's why the Bhagavad Gita says, look, if you know this, you know everything. You know the spine, you know the tree of life, you know everything. That's it. You're getting to know that. Through the roll-up of consciousness, the downloads that happen, you are getting to know that. That's why it works. The Om Japa frees you to roll up. You get the download, you get the learning. That's what sets you free. It is slow, but it is continuous. It does not stop. It just keeps rolling. It just keeps going. Unstoppable. So it's okay to have happiness. It's great. Wonderful. Look, my circumstances are up. Yay! I'm not relying on it. Fool me once, shame on you. Fool me twice, shame on me. No. Okay, I want to enjoy it. Okay, great. Okay, I have the ice cream, I eat the ice cream. I have the chocolate bar, I eat the chocolate bar. I'm not dependent on them. They're not food. Love, compassion, joy, equanimity. Peace to start. Just get me to peace. That's food. That's food for your soul. That's food for the hero's journey. And that powerful inner journey, that is the magic. So I hope you love this. If you did, be sure to hit that bell down below so I can see all of you next time.